everything's looking good, so now we can crank it up.
Definitely no longer in Kansas.
This one will probably be closer to 2,000.
Oh my God.
Some kind of a safety trip.
When it comes to modern exotics, the amount of performance from the factory is mind-blowing. But not everybody's satisfied with that. I'm here in Texas at T1 Race Development with my friend Tony Palo to see just what is possible. A perfect place to start this American Tune story is right here at Tony's Nissan GTR. Tony, I actually went to this car to start by showing the world how small the engine is that you've mastered this point, but I didn't know that this was actually your original car.
Yeah, I bought this in 2010 when we were just working on Honda stuff. They had come out a year earlier. It's like, man, it's such a cool car. Yeah. And so was at a spot where I could afford one, so I went and I bought it, and I'm not kidding. I was driving it home from the dealership, and I was like, this thing's perfect. I'm not touching it. And here we are.
That's the V6 for the stock core block?
That's it. That's where it goes. Went 697. I think it was the third GTR on the 6s. The cars are to the point where they make more than enough power, so 60 to 130 on the street, it comes down to grip. It's
mind-numbing. It's incredible. Dodworth is an old friend of mine. He actually owns one of the other four-roaders in the world, so yeah. We crossed paths from my days back in Pittsburgh and that area. His car's here, though.
His car is here.
Take a quick look at it.
Lives here at this point.
To set more records.
Yeah.
George Dodworth's Night Fury Nissan GTR is a legend of the drag strip. 6 seconds in the quarter mile at 230 miles per hour, a world record for the R35 GTR.
So this is the infamous Night Fury.
This is it. When it came to us, it had GT35 turbos on it, right? Okay. So, 1,400 horsepower-ish. George is always the one that wants to lead the way. And so we ended up setting the stock location turbo record with this car, and it's just continued to go from there. We built this turbo kit for it, GT47, 80 millimeter turbos. Put the turbos up front, it'll make about 85 to 90 pounds of boost. It's about 3,200 horsepower at that point. We've actually went back to all-wheel drive this year. First hit, it went 116. I'm like, all right, this is the way that's faster on these cars.
I applaud you and George for just pushing the limits over and over. The cliche that everything is bigger in Texas, unfortunately for me, is true. That this room alone, this one room that is his fabrication room, his dyno room, it's bigger than my entire shop. He's got the machines that I dream I'd have. I dream I'd have the space for, because these machines make a mess. This whole corner, all fabrication, welding, cutting, band saws, brakes, you name it, they're all here, and they're away from the customer cars. This room is any car modifier's dream room come true. Connectors, bungs, this is a crimper. Some length of hose, put a fitting on it, and it just comes down and crushes on that hose, makes that a permanent fitting. This is actually a front differential. This is where power goes to the front wheels of a car, and it's wild to see it just sitting out like this. That's what it takes to put power to the front of these V10 vehicles.
This exhaust is kind of funky looking right now. It used to be really cool. It was just straight, came straight through, had circles. Needed to put a parachute on it. So we had the chute kind of up here, the exhaust kind of coming out behind it, and it was kind of okay, but it was still putting a lot of heat into the parachute pack. So since we're not using it for now, I went ahead and took the chute up.
I could talk about GTRs with Tony for hours, but this is what I'm here to see. Audi V10 R8. I have so many questions about this car.
I have the answers.
Okay, good. First of all, why? Why the Audi? Why V10?
Well, it's funny. I also didn't plan on modifying this one. Motec came out with a plug-and-play computer kit for these cars, and we are a big Motec dealer. It kind of came down to I needed to have one of these cars for development. All my GTR customers building a GTR because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we can buy V10s now. So that's what this is. This is the current development project. My wife drives it, but she's never been in anything that fast. And hopped in and just ran with it. She's done great. Eventually decided to build the motor, and it's currently gone 743 at 201.
Like you take this car stock, you dyno it, you're gonna get 500 horsepower.
Yep.
And then you dyno this car, you're gonna get...
We haven't gone to the limit of these turbos yet.
Okay.
So the old turbos were about 2,400. They were 73 millimeter. These are 80. So somewhere north of 25. When you take it from 500 to 2,000 horsepower, you don't lose any of it. The clutch still drives just like it did. It's quiet with the engine behind you. Even though the exhaust is real short, it's all behind you. And so you don't get this terrible drone inside the car.
And as long as you stay out of boost, you could, in theory, get decent gas mileage?
Just as good as stock, yeah.
Wow. I could ask you a million more questions, but I think it'd be more fun to do it in the car.
It definitely will be.
Can we go for a ride?
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh no, I'm not gonna know where the handle is.
Right under.
Yep. What was the first car you modified?
Honda Civic. A friend of mine got a Civic Si. I bought a coupe, but it was the DX model, which was the non-VTEC, and it was automatic because I didn't know how to drive a 5-speed. But I'm like, they're only 20 horsepower difference on paper, right?
Right.
So by the time I buy my intake and my exhaust, you know, I'll be right there.
Yeah. Yep.
Still kick my ass.
This is probably the quietest car I've been in through this whole series. And it's by far the highest horsepower. Oh my God. What sort of torque curve does this thing have? I mean, with that much power, you'd expect it to be only top end.
Good boost, about 6,000 RPM. But it revs to 10.
Yeah.
So it's still 4,000 RPM of power band.
There's the car yawning. At this point in the game, what gets you out of bed for taking that next step with these cars?
There's still so much potential with these things, both from the power standpoint and from, you know, getting them dialed in down the track. You know, we're still working on how best to launch them and shift them, and our roads are not bad around here, but there's just not any good places to play. It's extra tough because of how fast the cars are.
Yeah.
You know, It's like a normal performance shop, or, you know, go back 10 years ago, like you could take it out anywhere and test it.
Yeah. I made the 4-rotor so fast that I'm not going to take it on the street to do, like you said, to take a test hit, because it's just too out of control, too quick. I think if you don't get nervous getting into a car like this, you're not alive. Like, quite frankly, you should be nervous because this is like the limit of human ability. Oh my God. Oh, that's
It's been a long time since I've driven this because Amy drives it.
Yeah.
Forgot how fun it is.
Yeah. I almost like felt my throat close up, but that was actually because my throat was physically going to the back of my spine.
We just went 560. I think if we get a little bit more rubber down, I think we'll be able to do a 520 today.
It was this incredible amount of acceleration that I forgot. I've never piloted a vehicle this fast.
The computer controls everything. We record about 850 channels of data each pass. Turn it down, get a feel for everything. Everything's looking good, so now we can crank it up. So this one will probably be closer to 2,000. Some kind of a safety trip. I bet it's fuel. We didn't put fuel in it after all that drive.
Yeah. Oh my God. By far the most acceleration I've ever felt in my life. There's like street acceleration, and then there's that.
It shut down from a safety trip, but when I was turning, it sounds like an axle's broken or something.
It sounded like a locker on the rear almost. It cut a little early before the end of the line. All the driving we were doing for the beautiful shots inside this video took the fuel. We used a lot of fuel. And so with that, turning and coming into here, we felt a little bit of a bumping, a little bit of a clicking. Normally, it sounded exactly like if you have a locked rear differential and your tires are skipping. So they're gonna take a quick look at that as well.
I think a broken axle. Feels like a CV's broken, and when you turn, it binds and it snaps. And probably broke a cage on a CV or something.
I'm trying to lose weight, but you didn't have to break it to me this way.
It's always fine when it's just one driver.
Yeah, it is. Is that a stock axle?
Yeah. The rears are upgraded. The rears brake. If you saw the front stuff on here, you wouldn't believe how small and dinky it all is. But somehow, they hold up pretty good.
Yeah.
So this car has a lot of drag passes on it. Up until third gear, you can see all four wheel speeds just spin a little bit, and then the front stops spinning completely. So my guess is something broke there, and then we felt it when we turned off the track.
You guys will have this apart and fixed in another day or so.
Yeah.
I know that's easy for you, but I'm glad we got to feel that, because I wish I could show the world how.
I know you can't relay it.
These episodes don't always end how you'd want them to, but if we didn't break anything, we wouldn't be pushing ourselves any further. On the first pass, we were at about 14 to 1500 horsepower at the wheels, and it certainly felt like it. Tony turned it up to 2000 horsepower. So this is the first time I have ever experienced 2000 horsepower at the wheels. With that came the soul-crushing reality that not all the parts were ready to do 2000 horsepower. You can see the car get a little loose on that run. The front drivetrain, something popped. An axle, CV joint, something let go. The car broke, but it didn't catastrophically break, and yet we still got to experience every bit of the power that it is capable of. True to his company's name, at least the second half of it, T1 Race Development. This isn't racing, this is race development, and that's exactly what Tony did here.